And the idea of being set apart is somehow being like them down here. Maybe I have to say it that way to really make the point clear. You need to figure out from Scripture, this is going to be part of what we're going to read in the next couple of seconds, how do you be like up there down here? In other words, be like them down here. Because now you're set apart from everybody else that's being down here in the way that down here is. Now in doing so, he says that this has to do with doing what's well-pleasing to Elohim, that this is well-pleasing to Elohim. So in other words, we're now comparing what pleases you and what pleases him. And that's part of what sets you apart, is that when you're doing what pleases him, you are discernibly different than people that are doing what pleases themselves. So now you're looking at pleasing him. Of course, you got to figure out what that is. What pleases him? Do not be conformed to this world. Do not imitate, become like, and change into or stay immersed in this world. Abba, Father, I pray to you that you don't take them out of the world, but you keep them from becoming like the world. Yeshua's prayer. He said, but be transformed into the above. How do you do that? You have to change your mind. See, the renewing of the mind doesn't mean you're renewing it back to some other form that was already in it. You're changing this mind into an above mindset from the below mindset. A heavenly versus an earthly, a spiritual versus a flesh. If you have not fully offered yourself up and your mind is not transformed, you can't do this. Now, as you start transforming, you start to see more of it. So it's not like you get zero or you get all of it. As you transform, you are shown and can see a little bit more and a little bit more. And those are the things that you now add to your walk and change what you've been doing. Because you may realize, wait a minute, Sunday's not the Sabbath. Oh, I can now change that. I just learned something, I can change that. Oh, I can't just eat everything I want to eat. Oh, I now learn what I can eat and what I shouldn't eat, and I can change that. As you learn, you transform by doing things differently, because you see things differently. You know, I had a nice little conversation with a good friend of mine today. You would know him if I mentioned him, who's also another teacher. And in that conversation, we had a bit of the conversation about the fact that, you know, this idea of Torah being something you could figure out without a teacher is just not the way it is. Yes, you could figure some of this out. Like you may figure out that Sunday's not the Sabbath, but does that mean you automatically know what to do on Saturday? Does that mean that you understand everything about Shabbat? Does it mean that you understand everything about whatever else you're going to learn about? Abba designed this, and Paul tells you that in Ephesians 4 with the fivefold, to need a human being to instruct. Not that you can't understand anything, but you can't understand the deeper things without guidance and instruction, or all the details, or all the nuances of how to apply things. So for you to think that you don't, this is where arrogance can come in. Well, you know what screws up your mind more than anything else? Its ability to be clear is emotion. He says, think soberly. What messed up Korach? His emotion. I don't like that you're over there and I'm over here and you're doing this and I'm doing that, and it's emotion. Came from the I don't like. That's not right. That's not fair. So he wasn't sober-minded. Instead of sitting there and appreciating, wow, I get to be one of the ones that Yahweh gave a job to do. Like in the tabernacle itself. What a blessing. I get to carry these items when we go from place to place. They're my responsibility, these very set apart items. Wow. Oh no. I want his job. I want to be in charge. Enough of you, he said. As if Moses put himself in charge. Abba doesn't look at anybody as more valuable. What he values is you doing what he called you to do. You functioning in the way he called you to function, and you being okay with that. You being satisfied. Not just like, all right, I'm okay with it. But like having shalom and congruence with, this is what he has me doing right now. And I'm very happy to be doing whatever it is he wants me to do. Some of you very I don't know what the word is. I was going to say arrogantly, like to say things like, I don't care if I'm a doorman or washing toilets. I just want to be in the kingdom. But then why don't you act like that now? Why don't you act that way now? Now you want whatever you want. I want to be a teacher. I want a title. I want this. I want that. I had a few people leave over the last little while who wanted titles. Wait, what do you want a title for? I really don't know why you want one, okay? Do what you were called to do. And he's telling you, please, in brotherly love, tenderly loving towards one another in appreciation. What's the appreciation part? Appreciating what you have and be grateful for what you have so then you are willing and happy to give it to somebody else, okay? I mean, that's part of what we're talking about here. I think a lot of times people are not doing these things because they just don't appreciate what they have. Okay, we have a gratefulness appreciation problem. Every really good motivational personal development person out there tells you that the start of all good things is gratitude. Every one of them. You know, I think it was Ziegler that said, have an attitude of gratitude. All right? And that's scriptural. Everything that you do is serving him. Sitting and listening to someone talk who needs to talk is still serving him. Okay? Serving him doesn't just mean having a shamish or rabbi or elder or some other title. All of you serve on some capacity within the body as you help each other and you're with each other and you love on each other. Some people just need to be loved, and some of you are good at giving love. Somebody just needs a hug. Some of you are good at giving a hug. Somebody needs an ear. You're good at giving an ear. Whatever it is. But do it knowing you're doing it unto him. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Bless those who persecute. No, what do? We attack those who persecute us. We whine and complain. We call them names. We get on Facebook and we say things so subtle that nobody will know who I'm talking about. Of course they do. Because you really wanted them to know who you're talking about. Instead of just blessing those who are a problem. Pray to Abba, Abba, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. If they really knew what they were doing and the problems and pain and suffering it was causing, they wouldn't do it. But they either really just don't realize it's causing problems, or there is an emotional, psychological disconnect where they can't even recognize right and wrong. And that, Abba, they don't know what they're doing. They're not in a sound mind to realize what they're doing is causing pain to other people. Be of the same mind toward one another. Oh, well, look, as long as we agree on the big things, it doesn't matter that we disagree about all this other stuff. Is that what it's talking about? What mind are we supposed to be of the same mind? Yeshua's mind. Is there any confusion in Yeshua's mind? No. When Yeshua said in John 17, Father, I wish that they were one as we are one, that means in the same like manner as. So what like manner as are we talking about? The Yeshua and the Father, did they disagree about anything? No. Were they confused about anything in their relationship? No. Did they fully have unity of thought and mind and purpose? Yes. They agreed on everything. Yes. If Yeshua didn't, you never would hear him say it because he just said, whatever my Father says, I do. Perfect vertical alignment.